everybody knows when you give your signature to something, you're pretty much signing over your life.
That's what the lawyers are definitely looking into. I'm going to be very clear. Vanessa and Chrissy have not shared anything with me, okay, because they are too damn afraid that they could be fined for saying anything.
Ari
other than the fact
previous sister wife to the family. She was with the family before they ever had a show. So she knows them on a level that most of us just won't and couldn't. We call her, I lovingly refer to her as the one that got away with no NDA. That'll be a YouTube video tomorrow, I'm sure it will be. But yeah, Ari's the one that got away with no NDA, so that's why she speaks so freely and says the things that she says. And it's because she knows she has a due diligence to let people know the things that are happening because nobody else can. You know?
Yeah, I have a lot of evidence, a lot of proof. And the wife before me, the one before me, she has tons too. So we were the ones who have the receipts. And like I said, this is why they made everybody else sign NDAs, because they knew the bullshit that they were doing and that they were on. And these women would be smart enough at some point to either look through phones, which has happened.
To be clear, it's not that I don't want to talk about it. I want to run tell all that shit. And that's really my problem because I am so honest and so transparent. I don't give a damn. Like, I'm having a hard time understanding that me signing my name with this pen and this paper mean I got to keep my mouth shut. I'm low-key pissed because... damn, I don't think I was clear on what that meant. I don't think if I would have known.
he handed her and I both 3 pages. You guys have to sign this. You have to fill this out and sign it. What is this? Well, it proves I'm innocent. I'm sorry, I signed nothing. My attorney gets any paperwork that somebody sends me like that to sign. That upset him greatly, that I would not sign this until it went to my attorney.
People have NDAs for a reason. People create NDAs for a reason. If you're not supposed to speak on something and you don't speak about it, then other people don't know. So if you don't know, you can't stop, you can't share, you can't converse, you can't confirm with each other. You just don't know because it's being silenced. And I kind of feel like I've been in hiding. So to speak. So I wanted to do an update and let folks know that I was okay. People did have a lot of questions. They thought that the Snowden would find me and harm me in some way. So it was good to be able to... Said what I said when I called you. When I ain't heard from you in 2 days, I'll be like, does a pulse check on me, and I really appreciate that because there's what's going on. I've been having to relive memories and experiences, and so I kind of run away and hide a little bit just to replenish, so to speak, because it does drain you. It takes a lot out of you. So, you know, I had to back away a little bit.
Now, while Chrissy was here, towards the end, she was having very bad feminine issues. And I came walking in the living room as he was holding a bottle of Tylenol, and I very distinctly heard him telling her, here, you are allowed to have one, and that is it. I mean, he was very stern with her, and again, told her what medicine she was allowed or not allowed, or how much of it she was allowed to have. John, I understand maybe you don't know a whole lot about women. I
don't, but I can understand. I've been around them.
I'm sure not going to tell my wife, well, that's going on. Here you go, honey. You can have one Tylenol.
I would have kicked them to the curb.
And that's it. No more.
You still have women who can't speak out, and they're on the run. I'm, someone who he can find and potentially harm or even try to pull me into court for things. I mean, of course, I can prove these things, but it's a lot of risk. But I felt as though I could not keep silent. So, I'm here. They're literally still hiding. All three are still hiding and can't say anything. And I know what that feels like to have been victimized by somebody and had your children. I mean, we literally had to go to therapy after leaving that house. So I know if I went through some things, they went through, and from what I know, they went through way worse. You know, there were a lot of things that was happening that didn't happen to me. Even though I experienced violence, they experienced some other things. And so can you imagine just not being able to say anything and have people watching the show right now and they're making comments like, oh, you know, well, she wanted the D and she, no way. It was scripted, it was edited, you know, for entertainment. This is entertainment, you know, at the end of the day. So, but it wasn't really what was happening when the cameras were not there. It was a lot of traumatic stuff happening. Oh yeah, Chrissy went through hell. I heard, she told me her story. Absolute hell. Mean as shit to her children. Same thing to mine. But she got it way worse. She dealt with way. The treatment was way worse. Some of the things she told me horrified me. Horrified me. I could not believe it.
Worse than what you're telling everybody right now about you?
Worse. Do you hear me?
Oh my good God.
Like,
Oh my God. And she couldn't even get the restraining order. That's sad.
She got the restraining order, and they said something about proof, and he presented a
text saying that she was like
she wasn't given a fair trial. Let's say that she wasn't even. I don't want to say it because it's
right.
It wasn't fair, and she can still, you know, pursue this. She can and she will. Let's just say that. But yeah, that was bullshit. Absolute bullshit. She has proof that she was assaulted. There is someone else who witnessed her being, and this person can testify for her. So
I would like to point out that when I got the restraining order, my biggest reason for getting that copy of that restraining order is we had no contact with Chrissy. We had no idea she was even still in the country. But I wanted to see if I could find her attorney's name on that paperwork so I could reach out to her attorney and say, look, here's what he tried having us sign. Here's what we know. Unfortunately, the number that was listed on the restraining order is for a helpline. And that helpline out in California is absolutely no help. Because I called them and tried explaining to them what was going on. All that they would keep telling me is, well, we don't have a supervisor here for you to talk to. Well, this is what's happening. You know, you got somebody that's going to court. Your number is on the paperwork here for it. Yeah, sorry, we can't do anything for you. Go to LAPD and file a report. I'm in Wisconsin. Let's be clear. Susie and I did not witness
no physical abuse. We did not witness anything like that.
But what we did witness, I would very much say, was psychological abuse.
Very controlling.
Very controlling behavior.
And Chrissy is so sweet and almost meek and
Very
mild,
meek.
you know? So it's like, I feel like she was an easy victim for him. She just wanted to please him. She wanted to make him happy. And she was just doing whatever she could to make him happy. And it kind of broke my heart to see that.
I just wanted to say that, as you said, hundreds of women and lives have been touched. So that means at this point, she's his cohort. At this point,
she's the victim that became the victimizer. It's classic Stockholm syndrome. You know, this woman, from the account of other women, have seen her be beaten by him. Blood dripping down her face. They come out of the room. She's talking about calling the ambulance. I got a concussion.
Meanwhile,
we're always going to be positive and be of love and light, you know. But
we know what it is.
And the reality is, it's the y'all so scared to talk. Can y'all tell how fucking timid I am? I don't know what to say. That's like, I'm like, shit. It's definitely the hard times that have brought us together. So it feels so good to be able to talk to someone that that knows you. You know, I don't have to breach shit because you experienced what I experienced. We can really just sit here and cry together till we get the fuck over it, because nobody else can hear. You know, right? That's a lot of things y'all don't know, but specifically, a lot of things that y'all learned about this family in this show, we learned at the same time. So a lot of y'all think that we've been knowing things, or we keeping things quiet, or keeping things secret. No, we're fucking trying to process our lives as our shit is being put on blast at the same time.
It's what they've really been doing, and the destruction and terror that they've been spreading. It's crazy, because I'm speaking of them, and it sounds like they're like. Sounds like something from TV, from a movie. It's
you know, like a bad Lifetime movie or something,
yes.
Something like that. You know, like.
I mean, I repeatedly asked myself many times, how the hell did I get here? How did I find myself in this situation? Like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Let me ask you.
Women, but he's abusing her. And it's crazy, because it seems like she's taken on his personality, or taken on who he is, and now she is an abuser too. She's a manipulator. And as I've said, they're not never as happy as they are when they're terrorizing someone. They seem to gang up on you, and
that's what they're vital. Like, you know, that's why I keep saying, like, I know I see Ashley, and like I see her as like they're bringing, like, just as bad as he is, and I think she gets some sick. And like you expect, like, she gets some sick enjoyment out of this, like, you know.
She does. She absolutely does, because what she does is she brings these women in. She mimics you, try to take on some of your characteristics or some of the things that you do, and then she makes you feel bad about your shortcomings, as if she, I don't know, as if she's perfect. Like it's this attitude is very hard to articulate. But it's this high and mighty. I'm better than you. I am the boss. You know, she was very controlling in that way. She made sure that she tried to maintain that power, or the hierarchy. And when she see that she's losing power, then she used the manipulation of Dimitri. She'd tell him, oh, she did this, she said that. I don't think she's a good fit. That type of thing.
But yeah,
Dimitri would dictate to her what she was or was not allowed to eat. Because Chrissy is a very small-framed girl. He can't risk her not being a small-framed girl.
She told me she lost a lot of weight since she moved in with them.
Yeah.
Somebody said, I don't have an NDA, and my story will be coming out very soon. And I know who that is. We definitely appreciate you speaking up. Yes. Thank you. What? Oh, shit, I missed that comment. Yeah. Oh, my lips are so dry. We have another ally. I mean, what's beautiful about it all is that you have so many people coming forward, and so many folks are coming together and supporting us who have experienced trauma at the hands of the Snowdens, which is unfortunate how we're all connecting, but the fact that we are connecting is a beautiful thing. And what I also notice is that as vile as those folks are, they have been able, we spoke about this, they've been able to connect with some of the most beautiful, generous, loving people. Like all of you guys, all of you.
You know, so an NDA would be like, if they broke the NDA and he was able to take them to court, because I know for sure, because Chrissy has already filed charges against him, that NDA has been broken because she filed charges. So one of the incidents that happened, the second time, I was kind of forcibly, it was by force. Engaging, so I'm asleep in the bed. I'm on my stomach, and he comes in, and he proceeds to be intimate with me. And then he...
Was this while Ashley was watching, or no?
No, Ashley wasn't there.
Okay.
She. This is when she was in Cincinnati, and basically he assaulted me. It was. I did not want what happened to me, and I really don't want to say what happened, but I didn't. I'd never done that in my life, and it was the only way I can get free because he had the back of my neck. So, yeah. When you're in a situation where you're married or you're with someone and you both have had consensual sex, it's hard to reconcile in your mind that this person has violated you, has taken something from you without permission, without asking. And so I knew that it was wrong, but I didn't even know how I would go and report that as being, the R word.
Somebody called me today. Apparently another woman that had been with the family. Really? On IG, she sure did. She told me something. I was like, she was, I haven't spoken because I have an NDA. I'm like, you have a fucking NDA? Oh my God. I said, girl, I can't, please, I can't. It's so many. This is crazy. So she can't talk either because she had an NDA. Baby, this shit fucked me up. It fucked me up. I was like, wait, who are you? Prove it to me. I'm like, who are you? Right. Like, let's make sure you're not a minion. Yeah, I made her FaceTime because at the end of the day, I know what manipulators do. So I'm like, first of all, you're not gonna play with me. Show me your face before you get all up in my business. You know what I mean? Right. So she showed you her face. She showed you who she was.
That's what people don't understand is just honest to God how dangerous I feel he is.
Immediately, I started to try to figure out how I can get out of the house. But at this point, I didn't have any money to leave. I had no money.
And I asked you this last night. I'm like, could you have left? And, they drained you of everything, right? I mean, they were using your car. You used your money on clothing and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like you were trapped.
Pretty much. I couldn't leave. I didn't know anybody in Georgia. I'd left everything in Louisiana to move with them. So I had no safety net, and that's what they do. They did. They isolated me from my friends, from my family. I had no connections, and they've done that to everybody. I firmly believe that they felt like they can get away with abusing Chrissy is because she had nobody here. She's from South Africa. She knows nobody in America, and so they felt comfortable mistreating her.
That Discovery Channel's lawyers were going to bury the such and such Chrissy. That she's full of it, man, and in this world, the way that he spoke about her, the way that he had spoke about what he could get away with, you thought this guy was Don Corleone, that no one in the world could touch him.
She's never put her hands on me, but he has. So going back to the incident in the office, so I tell him about the text messages. He proceeds to attack me. He pushed me over on the table where he had guns. One of the guns punctured my back. So on the right side, I had a puncture. And I didn't know it until my daughter tells me. But what happened was as he's attacking me, I'm screaming and I'm grabbing, trying to get loose or get free. And I'm scratching my neck and I'm crying. And he got up, he let me go, and he went to his desk. He had a makeshift desk. It was like a 1-inch plyboard going across. He had his Mac desktop on top, and he punched the board. He punched clean through the board, and the Mac fell. Everything fell. He's screaming like, ah! I had never seen him like that, and I'm in shock. I'm trying to catch my breath. I'm gasping. And the first thing I can think of once I came to was to run. So I'm running, and as I opened the door, my 14-year-old daughter at the time, she's 18 now, but she was standing in the doorway. And tears were streaming down her face. And she was holding a knife because she thought she had to protect her mother.
Oh, my God.
I grabbed the knife from her, and I run. And I grab the kids, I tell them to go upstairs. So everybody's running, and we go into her room, and we lock the door. He's banging on the door. Banging. I just want to talk. So the children
Oh my God, you can't cry. You're going to make me cry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I want, all of the viewers to know that Chrissy is not lying. She's not lying. Please believe her. Believe her. She's not lying. I want, all of the viewers to know that Chrissy is not lying. She's not lying. Please believe her. her. She's not lying. And
Everybody knows when you give your signature to something, you're pretty much signing over your life.
To be quite honest, I was very, very embarrassed and very shamed as I am now even telling this story. So I'll fast forward to the whole night that the choking,
It's yeah. So you know that Chrissy just put in her RO that was an issue with her. Mm-hmm. So you had a similar instance with the same thing.
Yes, mine wasn't centered around the intimate act. Well, one time was, but the other time was after I presented to him that I went through and found. I told him what was in it and what I suspected of him, or what I knew for a fact. And he went into a rage and he jumped up. We were in his office and he put his hands around. He was squeezing very hard. He pushed me over this table when I was in the back seat. She was in the front, and they're just like going at it and arguing and screaming at each other. So I realized that their relationship needed a lot of work and they needed healing.
And how far into your stay there was this happening?
This was about 4 months in.
So, would you say, was it ever great there? Was there any first time
the first 2.5 months was
okay.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
And things, I started to see small things, but I'm like, it wasn't a big deal. Like the naked thing and that kind of thing. But then the violence, and the interactions between them two kind of frightened me, because one of the things that attracted me to them was their relationship. They seem so loving and so kind to each other. But of course, you never know a person or people until you live with them. So I realized that it was a facade, and that he was an asshole, and that she was being abused, but she was also an asshole. They both became assholes. And what I noticed is that they were at their happiest when they were terrorizing me, when I was the enemy.
It's like when they were attacking you together. Do you know what would happen if a woman violated the Snowden NDA? Do you know of any instances or what would have happened? I guess it would have been sued or whatnot.
Yeah, they would just sue. But from what I know, he needed a plane ticket to get from the state he was in back to LA. So, and that was about 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks. So he doesn't have money, apparently. So whoever he's going to be borrowing money from to fight these women, he's going to have to fight all three.
I don't know if you'll answer, but has Vanessa or Chrissy or Taylor had the same exact experiences with Ashley? Is that how she is with everybody?
Yes. The exact same experience. That woman has not changed. She has not changed. In fact, she's gotten worse, because Chrissy definitely experienced way worse.
Than you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I can't wait until she's able to tell her story.
Oh, my God.
Yes. Therapy helped a great deal. It definitely did. I was able to, kind of move past a lot of the blame, because it was shame, it was guilt. Even now, when I recall the stories and how it happened, I feel so stupid. I'm thinking oh my God, how could I even forgive them? Or the arguments, a lot of the arguments that we had, they would double team me, and I found myself apologizing to them for some shit I didn't do. I literally have a text message of me, a heartfelt apology to her for something I know I didn't do. But I was trying to be the bigger person because he was urging me to do so and telling me that I wasn't trying hard enough, and you need to try 1,000%, gaslighting and manipulating. And so I apologized to her, and she gives me the bullshit fluff.
But now the Snowdens make whoever they're dating sign Snowden NDAs?
TLC didn't make anybody sign NDAs. It was the Snowdens.
Well, no, I know, what Casimir was because of 90 Day, they can't talk about certain things, or
right.
That kind of stuff. You can't talk about the show or whatever.
Talk about the show, because I've signed, as an actor, I've signed NDAs where we can't talk about the script.
Right.
Leak any pictures from set, that kind of thing. But this wasn't that type of NDA. The NDA that they signed was sealed tight. It was an NDA that covered everything. They literally they couldn't say anything about the relationship. No text messages, nothing. Nothing. This was
so ironclad NDAs.
Yes. Yeah.
And is that why Vanessa can't speak? Because
yes. Yeah. And you see, everybody has fled the country, except for Chrissy.
All right, let's kind of talk about that for a second. But can you elaborate at all on what really happened with Vanessa?
I don't want to say too much because she's under NDA, and I don't want to
It's not like as clear, as the Snowdens portrayed it, right? Like it's not she just decided she didn't want to be in the lifestyle anymore.
No, she was running for her life. And she couldn't say, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
She couldn't say anything. And they made her pretend as though she just wanted to leave. Same thing they did to Taylor. Same thing. I have a lot of evidence, a lot of proof. And the wife before me, the woman before me, she has tons too. So we were the ones who have the receipts. And like I said, this is why they made everybody else sign NDAs, because they knew the bullshit that they were doing and that they were on. And these women would be smart enough at some point to either look through phones, which has happened, and, to be able to tell others. So I went through it. I experienced it, and other women have experienced it.
Everybody knows when you give your signature to something, you're pretty much signing over your life.